couldn't even taste the floor in the second half. All right. It was crazy work. I'm like, dang, she's sitting on the bench. So what happened? Right. So after that game, after not touching the floor at all, the coach comes out and says, well, we just didn't use her because she didn't bring that energy that we wanted. Right. Now, looking at the game, she was trying on offense. She just wasn't scoring as much, but she was trying on offense. Had a little crossover. I forgot who was guarding her, but she had a nice little crossover, drove the baseline, reverse layup in, right? Had a nice little elbow.
The Phoenix Mercury organization finds itself dealing with significant internal conflicts involving Satou Sabally, head coach Nate Tibbetts, and veteran player Dejounte Carrington. Multiple concerning incidents have emerged that require careful examination from various angles. During their August 1st matchup against the Atlanta Dream, Sabally participated throughout the entire first half of play. However, when the second half commenced, she remained completely absent from the court. The rookie forward never stepped foot on the playing surface during the final 2 quarters, spending the duration seated on the bench.
First layup in, right? Had a nice little elbow shot. She was getting it in. I think she finished with like 9 points and shot 40% from the floor. She's not that efficient, so her efficiency is going up and down every game anyway. But anyway, yeah, so she was trying on offense, but I did see two moments specifically that I was like, you need to try harder on defense. So I think she had missed a shot. Naz Hillman gets the rebound, drives it down, and Satou's still on the other end of the floor, right?
This unusual benching raised immediate questions about what transpired behind the scenes. Following the contest, Coach Tibbetts addressed the media regarding his decision to keep Sabally sidelined.
She comes down, Naz Hillman throws it up. They pass it right back to Naz. She pulls the three. Now she missed, but that's Satou's man, right? That's Satou's assignment, and she's just jogging up the floor, taking her sweet little time, right? I was like, dang, yeah, that looks bad. I can't hold you. That looks bad. And then it was another time, I forgot who drove by her, but it looked like she wasn't even trying to guard. Yeah, she had 2 specific moments where she just gave up on the play. So I'm like, okay, I see what you mean.
The young player executed several impressive moves, including a sharp crossover that led to a baseline drive and reverse layup. She also connected on a mid-range jumper from the elbow area. Her final statistics showed 9 points on approximately 40% shooting from the field, numbers that reflect her typical inconsistent efficiency patterns throughout the season. Despite her offensive contributions, 2 specific defensive sequences stood out as problematic. During one possession, after missing a shot attempt, Naz Hillman secured the rebound and initiated a fast break.
Okay, I see what you mean, but to sit her out the entire second half, nah, that's something deeper, man. That's something deeper, because you're usually getting a tongue lashing, right? You get the tongue lashing, all right, do better. And then you get her out there, right? But yeah, sat out the entire second half. After that situation, they fly to Chicago. Satou nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And then it was ruled out that she was out for personal reasons. As you see it here,
while Hillman pushed the ball up court, Sabally remained near the opposite baseline, moving at a leisurely pace rather than hustling back on defense. When Hillman received a return pass and attempted a three-pointer, Sabally was still making her way up the floor, leaving her defensive assignment completely open. Although Hillman's shot missed, the lack of defensive urgency was glaring. Another instance saw an opposing player drive past Sabally with minimal resistance, as she appeared disengaged from the defensive play entirely. These 2 moments demonstrated a clear lack of effort and focus that could justify coaching frustration.
As you see it here, even Underdog announced it, Satou Sabally personal ruled out Sunday, all right? And that was yesterday. Now, I want y'all to hear what the coach had to say about this, all right?
No, this is a personal matter. She's out for personal reasons, and we support her through this time and are excited to get her back when she's ready.
Y'all heard what he said, man. I don't know. But honestly, it sounds like some
However, completely removing a player from action for an entire half suggests deeper underlying issues beyond simple effort concerns. Typically, coaches address such problems with direct communication followed by opportunities for immediate redemption on the court. After the Atlanta game concluded, the team traveled to Chicago for their next scheduled contest. When game time arrived, Sabally was nowhere to be found on the roster or in the arena. Official reports listed her absence as due to personal reasons, with various sports outlets confirming this designation.
Some Lion King going on, all right? It sounds like some straight up Lion King going on in this. I can't even hold you, man. I can't hold you. Now, the first perspective that I want to look at is hoping that everything is okay, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want anybody injured. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, right? So if anything is going on with Satou, hey, prayers up. Hope everything's okay. And I hope you get back as soon as possible, all right?
The organization provided minimal details about the situation. Coach Tibbetts addressed the media regarding Sabally's absence, stating it was strictly a personal matter. He emphasized the team's support for her during this period and expressed eagerness for her return when she felt ready to rejoin the group. His comments were measured and diplomatic, offering no additional insight into the specific nature of her absence. The timing and circumstances surrounding these events raise questions about whether legitimate personal issues are involved, or if this represents another case of player dissatisfaction leading to a work stoppage.
Back as soon as possible, all right? But if not, right? If not, we have to take a look at some of the things that are going on the other side. If she is actually just taking a sit out because she is mad about what happened in that game against the Dream, right? So if we look at it that way, first person I'm going to talk about, y'all already know, DeWanna Bonner. That's the first person I'm going to talk about because right when she was trying to...
From a humanitarian perspective, if genuine personal matters are affecting Sabally, she deserves support and understanding from fans and media alike. Health, family emergencies, or other serious life events should always take precedence over basketball obligations. However, if this absence stems from frustration over her benching against Atlanta, it represents a concerning pattern within the organization. The situation bears striking similarities to Dijonai Carrington's departure from the Indiana Fever earlier in the season. When Carrington became dissatisfied with her reduced role in Indiana, she initially expressed interest in joining either Phoenix or Atlanta.
When she was trying to lead the Indiana Fever, the two teams she announced, I'm like, do you not know you're not going to be starting? Like, you name the Mercury and the Dream. You think you're going to be starting on those teams? It's funny that DeWanna Bonner was catching splinters with the Indiana Fever and had such a problem, right? It was a pain in her buttocks to be catching those splinters and coming off the bench, right? To now you're catching splinters over here to Phoenix and you don't have...
Many observers question her realistic expectations about starting opportunities with either franchise, given their existing roster construction and her recent performance levels. The irony of Carrington's situation cannot be ignored. While she vocally complained about limited playing time and bench duties in Indiana, she has accepted a similar reserve role in Phoenix without public objection. This change in attitude suggests that personal relationships and organizational culture play significant roles in player satisfaction beyond mere playing time considerations. Carrington's arrival in Phoenix was met with skepticism from basketball analysts who predicted roster chemistry issues.
On her most recent appearance on a podcast with Sue Bird and Mega Rapinoe, she reaffirms the belief that many newcomers to this league has had, that these players are just not ready for the spotlight to be shined on them. But before we get into that, we have these two ladies talking about DeWanna Bonner getting booed. Another example that this league isn't ready for true sports fandom. In the MLB, in the NFL, in the NBA.
Since her addition to the team, Phoenix has compiled a 4-5 record, winning fewer games than they have lost during this stretch. This decline in performance coincides with the integration of a player who had previously demonstrated willingness to abandon team commitments when circumstances didn't meet her preferences. The broader implications of these situations extend beyond individual team dynamics. Both Carrington and Sabally have established precedents suggesting that players can simply refuse to participate when they disagree with coaching decisions or team management. This sets a dangerous organizational culture where individual preferences supersede team obligations and professional commitments.
NFL, in the NBA, a player returns, they get booed, we move on. A player demands a trade, gets traded, comes back, gets booed, and we move on. But here in the WNBA, this is a new concept. This is a foreign idea. So we need to harp on this DeWanna Bonner getting booed mercilessly situation, and we need to offer our think pieces and opinions, and the opinions couldn't be.
For younger players like Sabally, these decisions carry additional weight due to their involvement in collective bargaining negotiations and their stake in the league's future development.
We need to offer our think pieces and opinions, and the opinions couldn't be further from reality.
DeWanna Bonner returns to Indiana and is met by boos. Kalia Copper called it distasteful. There was a lot of conversation around this. What are your thoughts when you see this vet, this like legend in the game, going out there and being booed?
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I get it. She left Indiana. I mean, but she also left Phoenix at one point, and now she's back. And I mean, Indiana gets.
When prominent players demonstrate unprofessional behavior by abandoning team commitments, it undermines collective.
And I mean, Indiana getting a little hurt over this, a hurt heart space when she didn't contribute very much. She wasn't there for a very long time. And it just seemed like for both parties that it wasn't a good fit. I don't really know why we booing sis. You know what I'm saying? Indiana.
I know why we booing sis. Sis, I know why we booing sis. We're booing sis because she quit on the team. Is there any more of a reason that these people need?
Carrington, approaching the later stages of her career, may feel less concerned about long-term league development or her individual reputation's impact on future opportunities. She has already established her earning potential and career trajectory, making short-term satisfaction more appealing than broader professional considerations. Sabally faces entirely different circumstances as a young player with significant future earning potential and leadership responsibilities. Her involvement in labor negotiations and public advocacy positions her as a voice for player interests across the league. When someone in her position demonstrates unprofessional behavior, it weakens bargaining positions for all players in future discussions.
The reason that these people need. Does it not get through their thick skull that she quit on the team and therefore she is more than deserving of a cold-hearted welcome when she comes back to Indiana? Not only did she quit on the team, she robbed us blind. Money that we paid to DeWanna Bonner, we could have utilized elsewhere to sign another player that was worth some cha-ching, cha-ching. So not only did she quit on the teams.
The interconnected nature of professional sports means individual actions affect collective outcomes.
Not only did she quit on the team, quit on our team, but she also sacrificed a roster spot while still being on the team. Then she hinders the front office's ability to go out and sign another player that can be a benefit to the team because we don't have as much money left over since we gave it all to her. Are we okay over here? Are we all right?
Still doing all right.
Conversely, incidents involving work stoppages or team abandonment provide ammunition for management positions that question player commitment and reliability. The timing of Sabally's absence, immediately following a disciplinary benching, creates particularly problematic optics. Whether her personal reasons are legitimate or not, the sequence of events suggests a connection between coaching decisions and her unavailability. This perception weakens her credibility and that of players who support her positions in broader league discussions. Moving forward, both individual players and the league must address these recurring patterns of behavior.
Are we all right?
Still doing all right. In a playoff position, I think they figured out their rotations, which was huge and was not happening when Bonner was there. So I don't know. It couldn't be me. I think athletes know they might get booed. It just wouldn't.
She was only here for 9 games. We didn't even have the ability to figure out a rotation with her because she was here such a short amount of time. And in that short amount of time, she did so much damage that Sophie Cunningham was talking about the locker room being different.
Professional standards exist not only to maintain competitive integrity, but also to support collective bargaining positions and league growth initiatives. When players prioritize individual satisfaction over professional obligations, they undermine their own long-term interests and those of their colleagues. The resolution of Sabally's situation will likely influence how future similar incidents are handled throughout the league. If players can successfully pressure organizations through work stoppages without consequences, it establishes precedents that could destabilize team dynamics across multiple franchises. Alternatively, if clear professional standards are maintained and enforced, it supports the league's continued development toward higher levels of legitimacy and compensation.
That Sophie Cunningham was talking about the locker room being different islands scattered around the room like a high school cafeteria. Come on.
Wouldn't have been something that I did. And I think it's also fair that Ka stood up for her current teammate.
Yeah, put some respect on DB's name, okay? She's a veteran in this league. She has accomplished so many things, and she made a decision for herself that has panned out for her and for Indiana. So put some respect on her name. Don't boo her. I wouldn't be the one.
The Phoenix Mercury organization faces critical decisions about how to manage these situations while maintaining competitive integrity and professional standards.